But you really do have to hand it to the central bankers. They're doing a brilliant, brilliant job. Let me move on to how the people are controlled, how the sheeple are controlled, how the Christians are controlled. I watched this pastor on television on Sunday, and the reason that I stayed with him more than 30 seconds was because he said, how many of you hate what happens when you go to the TSA, the way they grope you and the children and blah, blah, blah. And then the IRS, it is horrible. Think about it. Everybody has a horror story with the IRS. And I'm thinking, whoa, this guy's making some sense. And then he said, but you should adhere to whatever these people tell you. Because according to Romans 13, 1 through 7, we are to give fear to whom fear is due, money to whom money is due, and our God institutes those leaders. And they make the decisions, and you should be happy to pay your money to the IRS. He actually said this. I mean, I am like shocked. You can go online and see the program that he did. The website was riceroadchurch.com, riceroadchurch.com. And it made me ill. He says, all governing authorities are from God. So that means that if the elite of this country say, go and kill people in Bangladesh, Somalia, Yemen, wherever, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, we should do it, right? He said, because of Romans 13, 1 through 7, you should appreciate giving your money to the IRS. You should want to do it. It should make you feel good. Don't feel bad about the IRS. Feel good about them. What? And then, after this 1 minute, 10-second break, he gave 3 words that just chilled me. We'll be back. 1 minute, 10 seconds. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and you hear me every weekend on my show talk about the importance of a financial plan, planning for your retirement, planning for your children's college education fund. Unfortunately, most people don't realize that they need to set up a foundation before any good financial plan can come into place. That's where life insurance comes in. Now, most people think life insurance is just an expense, but it's not. It can be a way of life, a standard of living when someone, the breadwinner, is literally removed out of the picture because of a premature death. Look, I believe in it. I've got life insurance for my family, and I want you to find out how easy it is to get life insurance and even qualify through some new non-medical life insurance policies. Look, my friends at eFinancial can help you do this. They're standing by to give you your free life insurance quote today. Call 866-807-9961. 866-807-9961 for your free life insurance quote today. And don't forget to tell them Steve sent you.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
Good morning. I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC Radio. Greece has said no to new bailout terms. Stocks have fallen worldwide. They'll fall in the U.S. when the markets open here. Aetna's buying Humana for $37 billion, the largest insurance merger ever. The FTC has approved Dollar Tree's $9 billion purchase of Family Dollar if they sell 330 stores. Sears Holdings says its newly created real estate investment trust, Seritage, will begin trading in New York today. Seritage essentially owns the property on which many Sears and Kmart stores sit. Botox maker Allergan is buying Oculive for $125 million. Oculive makes experimental treatments for dry eye disease. And starting next week, Mondelez will roll out a new Skinny Oreo. It's a thinner version of the original with fewer calories. In explaining the new cookie, Mondelez said if Oreos are like pancakes, Skinny Oreos are like crepes. The company also says they're not meant to be dunked or pulled apart, unless, of course, you want to. I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE. LOVE.
Prepare yourself. The breakfast blahs are everywhere. Boring, bland, and routine breakfasts that make people feel like zombies. But there's a cure. Hostess breakfast. Scrumptious chocolate donuts. Sweet-filled danishes. Iced and glazed honey buns. Get them at a nearby store to stop the blahs and start your day with a dose of sweet. The sweetest cure for the breakfast blahs. Hostess breakfast. Up and eat 'em.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Good morning. It's 6:02. Checking out traffic and weather. Warm and sunny today. Up in the 80s. LA and Orange County. They're going to see morning clouds and clear to sunny skies. They'll be in the upper 70s. Beaches will be in the low 70s with a high desert. Hot with a high of 96. Currently, it's 69 at KCAA. Checking out traffic. Looks like Ontario has stop and go traffic on the 60. That's between Vineyard, westbound, and the 57 Orange Freeway. Corona also has stop and go traffic. That would be the 91 between McKinley Street and Green River Road. That's a check of traffic and weather from the only station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM.
It's the Onion Radio News. Area neighbors protest treehouse acquisition of M80 technology. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Alarm spread through the Parkland Terrace neighborhood today when word got out that unstable elements within the community had acquired M80 technology. The formerly placid suburb now lives in all-consuming fear that the loud explosive devices may actually be put to use. Parkland Terrace resident William Gray.
The threat of sidewalks littered with G.I. Joe limbs is very real on this street.
Anonymous sources claim the neighborhood arms race began in earnest back in 1998 when the Henderson boys imported advanced Super Soaker technology. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
In AgNet West today, we hear about the reauthorization benefits of REAP in the 2014 Farm Bill. The story after this.
And now another episode of One Soil to Live.
I'm sorry, Sarah. It doesn't look good.
Oh, no, Doctor. Is there any hope?
Well, yes. But you'll need to follow these 4 principles if you want to make it healthy again.
Of course. Anything.
Okay. Now, first, you must keep it covered and keep living roots in it throughout the year with diverse plants and rotations.
Yes, Doctor. Of course.
And finally, Sarah, it's important to disturb it as little as possible.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. You're a real soil saver.
No thanks necessary. Improving soil health is what I live to do.
There's an amazing amount of life in healthy soil. More importantly, that life can help make our nation's farms more productive, profitable, and resilient. Visit your local USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service office today and learn more about the basics and benefits of soil health. This message brought to you by USDA and this radio station.
USDA is investing more than $6.7 million in 544 renewable energy and energy-efficient projects across the country. Lillian Salerno, Rural Business Cooperative Sales Administrator, tells us the significance of REAP being reauthorized in the 2014 Farm Bill.
It gives folks certainty, and when you're running a business or running a farm or a ranch, what you need is certainty. And so we have loan guarantees as well as small grants, and so now we're able to work with the lending community and let them know that this money is not going away. It's what they call mandatory money. And that allows us to do a lot more loan guarantees for businesses. And this will really, really help our energy, the reduction of energy costs for businesses that need it.
For more ag news at any time, head to our website at agnetwest.com. I'm Sabrina Hill, and this is AgNet West.
Here's your Money Minute with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you follow the markets, you've probably been getting seasick lately. But what if I told you that market volatility can be a good thing? If you're a bargain hunter, this is your coupon. So keep your shopping list handy. If you're a long-term investor with plenty of time before retirement, the money going into your 401k each month will buy more shares when the markets are down. And if you have a good financial plan, you can relax while others worry, because that plan will carry you beyond today's headlines. Of course, you should always consider professional guidance before making any financial decisions. That's your Money Minute. I'm Mo Ansari.
For more tips on investing during market volatility and other investment topics, listen to Market Wrap weekdays at 5 p.m. on this station. For a free consultation with Mo Ansari, call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds Custodian Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Here's a look at the KCAA community calendar. You can win tickets to the Junior University Musical Theater presentation of The Jungle Book. Just listen to KCAA all day long and get ready to win. Are you looking for adventurous entertainment for the whole family? Then join Junior University for a musical theater experience that is unmatched under the stars at Roosevelt Bowl in Paris Hill Park. This year, it's Mugwai and the Adventures in the Heart of the Jungle as Junior University presents William R. Dixon's adaptation of The Jungle Book. Show dates are July 17th through August 1st. Starting time is 8:15 p.m. General admission is just $10 for adults, and children 12 years old and younger are just $5. Two parents and all their children under 18 years can purchase a family ticket at the box office for just $25, and you can save 20% on a family ticket if you print it out at home by going to junioruniversity.org. Listen to KCAA and win tickets to The Jungle Book. And that's a look at the KCAA community calendar. I'm Mark Westwood.
Happy Monday to you. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Bill the Schwartz in the booth. Good morning, Bill.
Yes, ma'am.
So I hope that everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
I did, and I'm still alive.
Well, did you expect that you wouldn't be?
No, but have you heard all the stories?
Well, there are some good stories.
There's some great stories. People who really, literally blow my mind.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. We will talk about 4th of July weekend and how it's evolved. Our neighborhood, well, I'll tease this. Our neighborhood sounded like a war zone over 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, so did Ontario, which is funny because there are signs everywhere that say fireworks are illegal.
Yes, and that didn't seem to stop anybody. They just buy them somewhere else.
Yeah, and our poor dogs have PTSD now, I swear.
So before we really get started, I want to let everybody know all the ways they can listen to the show and all the shows on KCAA AM 1050. You can find us, of course, at 1050 on the AM dial. You can find us at kcaaradio.com, where you can click to listen directly online. You can find links to all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also watch our embedded Ustream feed or click through and watch on Ustream. If you want to call to listen, you can do that at 832-999-1050, 832-999-1050, and long-distance rates may apply. You can also, if you have an Android, you can listen to us on your Android device at kcaaexpress.com. You can listen to us on your Apple device with the TuneIn app. So in the second half of the show, we'll be hang on just a second. Do we have our... Okay, we have a caller, but we don't know what they're calling for. All right, second half of the show, we'll be talking to Pamela Little. She's an author, local woman. She's an author. We'll be talking to her about her new book. And this first half of the show, of course, we'll be talking about interesting stories. So you brought up the one about the guy...
A true Darwin Award winner.
Oh, please, tell us.
A guy who is so smart that, well, what he did will probably go into the history books, Aaron. So he was doing some fireworks with his buddies, because that's what you do on the 4th of July, right? And they were drinking a little bit and decided
drinking a lot.
And so anyway, this 22-year-old man who was drinking and celebrating the 4th of July tried to launch a firework off the top of his head, killing him instantly. Duh.
Fireworks are explosive.
Yes. So Devin Staples and his friends have been drinking and setting off fireworks Saturday night in the backyard of a friend's home in eastern Maine. And Stephen McCausland, a spokesman, said Stephen McCausland, a spokesman for the State Department of Public Safety. Staples, 22, of Kcaa, a small town on the Canadian border, placed a reloadable firework mortar tube on his head and told his friends he was going to light it. His friends, of course, urged him to stop, but apparently he thought it was a great idea. His friends said they tried to dissuade him from doing it, but the next thing they knew, he ignited the firework, and he was killed instantly. People, you got to be smarter than that. I mean, seriously, you don't put a firework up on your forehead, for God's sakes. I don't know what this guy, he wasn't thinking. He must have been so plastered drunk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of the alligator story.
Yeah.
Have you heard this story?
I did. The crazy guy with the alligators.
Yeah. So he decided that he wanted to. There was a pool, and I think this is in Texas. There was a pool in East Texas, Southeast Texas, and he wanted to go in it. Now there's signs all over it. It says alligators, no swimming, alligator. And his friends even told him, and people around there told him there are alligators in there. And so what was his response? He said F alligators, and he went swimming. He didn't last very long.
No.
He was taken down right away. And it's like, genius people.
Yeah.
So 2 Darwin Award winners from this weekend.
Wow. And the thing about the fireworks is that they go out of their way to put all these caution signs all over these things,
Yep.
And I know that the ones you buy here are quote unquote safe and sane.
Yeah, but people don't.
But people are buying all these illegal ones anyway.
Yeah, they are.
And this guy with the mortar thing, that can't have been legal. That had to have been one of those things. And of course, whenever you live near the border, it always seems like these border cities that get it the worst, right? If you live near the Canadian border, you live near the Mexican border, you just go across the border, you get the stuff that you can't get here in the United States. And, crazy.
Well, our neighborhood sounded like a war zone. It really did. So we went to family's house. We were with family on 4th of July. Came home at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, whatever we came home. And man, it sounded. I mean, some of them sounded like gunshots, and I hope that they weren't, but some of them sounded like gunshots. Giant illegal fireworks. The ones that it was huge, way up in the air, big.
Yeah.
And I understand that people are celebrating, but that carried on till midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
And it was going on for days before the 4th, and it's still going on more sporadically now after the 4th. And the animals are completely terrorized.
Yes.
I mean, our dogs are, like I said, are shaking and freaking out. And
yeah, So please, come on, guys. Let's not go out lose our minds over 4th of July. And I actually posted that on Facebook, and I got a couple people who said, "Come on, I loved every minute of it." Really? No, you didn't. Some idiot blowing off illegal fireworks in the middle of the night. I'm sure wasn't too fun for you.
Yeah, it's nice when you go and see the big show and you have the patriotic music and you get together with your friends and family and have some food
and do like the normal, the safe and sane fireworks.
Yeah. Do those out on the driveway in front of the house, but beyond that, it really kind of crosses the line, and these people just get crazy. And once drinking's involved, yeah. And the ones that always scare me the most are the ones where there are cars nearby and people are being stupid with the fireworks and things are getting knocked over and kicked under cars, and and you're like, oh my God, is a car going to blow up here soon? I've not ever heard a story of a car actually blowing up in one of these things.
But it does make you nervous.
But
I'm right there with you.
I'm like, seriously, dude. Keep your fireworks away from the cars.
Well, speaking of fireworks, we had some fireworks in Greece.
Yeah, we did.
The vote happened, and we talked about this all last week. But Greece voted no, and honestly, I'm not surprised at all that they voted no.
I'm not surprised, and I still think they probably made the right choice.
Why?
I think that had they stayed in the EU, they would have been trapped in a system of second-class citizenship where they were constantly having to get their loans renegotiated and never were going to be able to dig themselves out of it. I think the only way for them to really solve their problems is to go back to their own currency, to revalue everything, right? And then they have control of their own future and they can begin to make choices, hard choices, about what's best for them. But under the EU, they're basically stuck with whatever the conditions the EU gives them, and those conditions will always keep them as a second-class nation.
So Greece lurched into uncharted territory and an uncertain future in Europe's common currency this past week after voters overwhelmingly rejected demands by international creditors for more austerity measures in exchange for a bailout of its bankrupt economy. Results show 61% voted no compared with 38% for yes, with 93% of the vote counted. The referendum, Greece's first in more than 4 decades, came amid severe restrictions on financial transactions in the country, imposed last week to stem a bank run that accelerated after the vote was called. Thousands of jubilant government supporters celebrated in front of Parliament, waving Greek flags and chanting "No, no, no." It was a decisive victory for Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, who has gambled the future of his 5-month-old leftist government and his country in the referendum he called last weekend, saying a no vote would strengthen his hand to negotiate a better deal for his country. His government said it believes it would be possible to conclude a deal with its creditors within 48 hours, but European officials and most of Greece's opposition parties painted the referendum as one of whether the country kept using the euro currency, even though that was not the convoluted question asked on the bailout. Opinion polls Friday showed that 74% or more want their country to remain in the euro. How European officials react to the referendum result will be critical for the country. And a Eurozone summit was called for Tuesday, that would be tomorrow evening, to discuss the situation. And so this is uncharted territory. And we ran a story, we talked about a story last week about a Greek couple, I think we did, a Greek couple who had saved for a year for their honeymoon in New York. And they get here and this happened and they lost everything. So all of a sudden they had no money. Everything that they prepaid for was gone. The hotel was asking for cash. They couldn't get cash. They had to go to a local Greek Orthodox church to get help.
Wow. Yeah, this has been a nightmare for them. I of course, see similarities to our local community here in San Bernardino that went bankrupt. And they're going through hard times. I mean, the cuts that are going to have to continue to be made, the taxes that will go up. I mean, there's no easy solution to these kinds of problems. I just personally think that Greece is better off dealing with those in their own realm instead of having to let the EU sort of control that.
But haven't they decided? I mean, by joining the EU, they've elected for the EU to control that. I mean, they've given their financial and monetary control over to the European Union. I mean, that's what that union means, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But that's why I think that this is probably the beginning of the end of that. I mean, I think that even though, like the article you just read said, it didn't specifically say leave the EU in the ballot, I think this is the precursor to that. Yep. I think that turning down the help under the terms that the EU wanted, I don't see the EU coming back and giving them super generous terms.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to watch. I mean, I think the analogy that you used last week was, this is like the Articles of Confederation here in the United States, where you had the states plus this very loose partnership that was part of the Confederation. It didn't work.
Yep.
But under the Articles, who was printing money? And I know I'm putting you on the spot. I don't know if you remember that.
Each state printed their own.
Okay, and so that is different. So that now that there's this is different in that there is one currency, and that's the euro. So I don't know. I mean, does Greece have enough gold to be able to be able to start printing their own, drachma, again, or do they not? I mean, who knows? It'll be interesting to watch. So it's time for a break. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Bill Schwartz in the booth.
Just one thought. If Greece is going to behave this way, instead of the food truck being known as the Greece E-Wiener, it should now be known as the Finlandia Wiener.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Serve that with some salty licorice. Ew. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. We'll be right back.
E-Digits. Lock them in for more information, recreation, and guaranteed fun. KCAA 1050 AM.
Wet n Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun barefooting. In the sun barefooting. Flow rider barefooting. Wet n Wild barefooting. Bring your friends and stay all day. Wet n Wild is your place to play barefooting.
Yeah, you gotta get barefooting this summer at Wet n Wild. Dive into all the thrills, all the action, all the fun. Take on awesome slides and rides. There's big fun for kids and much more. This summer, we have extended hours, dive-in movies every Friday, and everyone gets free tubes. Plus, save $7 on admission when you buy online or grab discount coupons at area Jack in the Box restaurants. For your best summer ever, it's Wet n Wild.
Slipping, sliding, barefooting. Getting soaked, barefooting. Wet n Wild, barefooting.
Wet n Wild.
Barefooting. Wet n Wild, barefooting.
Wet n Wild. Park open daily.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
When should I begin taking Social Security? What should I invest in today? And when should I look at making changes? What should I do with my 401k if I change jobs?
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. These are just some of the questions we are asked on a regular basis, and the answers are different for each and every one of you. That's why at Compact Asset Management, we take a holistic approach to wealth management, which means taking the time to get to know you, your lifestyle, and your goals to better invest your money now and make a plan for your future. Call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and make an appointment to meet with me personally for a free portfolio review and answers to your specific financial questions. That's 1-800-388-9700, 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
From the KCAA Community Calendar, I'm Mark Westwood. Everyone's talking about the Third Thursdays in San Bernardino. Rediscover the city of San Bernardino Third Thursday Food Truck Fest. Switch up your lunchtime routine. Try the gourmet food trucks every third Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Court Street parking lot between E and D Streets in downtown San Bernardino. Enjoy delicious, tasty food from the food trucks such as the Slam and Sliders food truck, Farmer's Belly, the Bacon Mania truck, Piaggio on Wheels, or the Greasy Wiener. All kinds of mouth-watering delights, hot off the truck, and plenty to eat. Put an end to dull, boring fast food and truck on over to City Hall in San Bernardino for the Third Thursday Food Truck Fest in downtown San Bernardino. For more info, check out Rediscover San Bernardino's Facebook page at facebook.com/SB Third Thursdays. That's SBTHIRD Thursdays. That's a
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the brink. We are the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. We are a CNBC News affiliate radio station.
Yes, we are.
And so I want to let everybody know there's a story on CNBC.com. So we've talked about Greece. We've talked about Puerto Rico. Now we have to talk about China.
Yeah, China's in the weeds too, Erin.
They are. Greece's full-blown debt crisis and Puerto Rico's unfolding one have dominated headlines all week. But some of the biggest U.S. investors have China at the top of their worry list. That one is that makes people worry a lot.
Yep.
There are four major money managers keeping close watch of China, where markets have been under severe selling pressure despite moves by regulators to restore confidence. Chinese markets, which had risen as much as 110% from November to a peak in June, have tumbled more than 20% since June 12th, in jaw-dropping volatility as money surges in and out of the market. Shanghai's benchmark share index plunged below 4,000 points for the first time since April on Thursday. We discuss China in detail at every strategy meeting, and we continue to consider it one of several risks we need to keep an eye on. Dane Iveson, Group Chief Investment Officer at PIMCO, one of the world's largest bond fund managers, with $1.59 trillion in assets under management as of March 31st. And he told this to Reuters on Thursday, Thursday. For his part, Gundlach, who oversees $73 billion in assets at Double Line Capital, says he bought tons of treasuries in Ginnie Mae's last Friday, partly because the Shanghai Stock Exchange Composite Index was signaling trouble by collapsing after blowing off to the upside, a la the NASDAQ back in 1999-2000. In fact, the U.S. Treasuries rallied strongly on Monday with yields falling to one-week lows with the new developments and concerns about Greece and Puerto Rico. So China, of course, is the world's massive trading partner. They manufacture so many of the goods sold not only in the United States but in other places of the world. And so a collapsing Chinese market or a Chinese market that's in trouble, I don't want to use the word collapse, that's not fair, is something that causes us some concern here in the United States.
That's true. Now, the good news is that 98% of the stocks in the Chinese market are owned by Chinese people. So foreign investment is still fairly small in the Chinese marketplace, and that's because of their regulations and some of the rules that they have. But it's scary. There's 90 million people in China that own Chinese stocks, and these people had gained a bunch of wealth because the market had been booming, and now all that's evaporated overnight with this sell-off. And so there's a lot of people that are being really hurt by this. And in the last year, a lot of the people that have been entering the market have been people that are in sort of that Chinese middle class. A lot of them have been Chinese college students who've borrowed money from their parents, saw the market as a way to quickly get money to then cover college expenses and things like that. And so they were riding high for a while and thought they had everything covered, and then all of that evaporated. And so there's going to be a real impact in terms of the Chinese people and their economy if these kids all have to drop out of college or if the parents have now lost their life savings. And, so, I mean, a 25% sell-off is big. I mean, this is a lot of money, of paper money just sort of evaporated overnight in the Chinese market. And so it will have an impact.
So, it's a little muddier here. China is not as transparent as some of the other countries. Like, if something happens in London, you know why. If something happens in Tokyo, you know why. China is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. And this is according to Bill Gross. It is a mystery meat of economic sandwiches. You never know what's in there. Credit has expanded more rapidly in recent years than any major economy in history. And that is a sure warning sign.
So you mentioned credit. One of the things that struck me, and I read another story about this yesterday, one of China's solutions to keep people in the market was to actually make it easier for people to borrow and then use that borrowed money to invest. And so this creates a cycle of
Sound
instability.
Like the 1920s, anybody?
Exactly. When I read that, is exactly what I thought. And so while it may be a short-term boost, keeping money in the market, it also creates a whole bunch more risk because now your banks are more at risk, your individuals are more at risk. And when people get leverage like that, when things tumble, it's really, really bad. So, let's keep an eye on what's going on in China, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, maybe it's time to get a little more conservative with your investments. I am not an investment advisor, so this is just me shooting my mouth off, but just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for me to be a little more conservative with my money.
I've often said you're too liberal.
Oh, my gosh, you have not.
No, that's true. I never said that.
You never said that. So
we've only got a minute left, and I wanted to finish this segment with a little flag waving because we did have the July 4th. We had some great news. The United States women routed Japan to win the World Cup 5-2. That's
this
right.
is a rematch of the 2011 game where Japan won.
And
so congratulations, ladies.
And the scoring was phenomenal. In the first 16 minutes, we scored 4 goals. That's like unheard of in soccer.
Yeah, that is.
Soccer is one of those games where at the end of the game, if you've got like a 1-0 game, you're like, oh, wow, that was a great game. 5-2, Aaron. 5-2. The American women just went out there and just blasted the heck out of it. Amazing.
So, way to go, American ladies. Did you watch the game? Bill in the booth?
C'est moi?
Yes.
No, I was too busy loading a laptop and replacing hard drives and doing all the things I can't do during the week.
Yes, and not setting a firework off your forehead.
Not me. Not knowingly, anyway.
Exactly. Well, I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the brink. We got Bill in the booth, Bill the Schwartz in the booth. We are KCAA AM 1050. We'll be right back.
California headline news. The father of murder victim Kate Steinle talks about the incident that took his daughter's life. He says he and Kate and some friends were out walking on San Francisco's Pier 14 when tragedy struck.
As foolish as this may sound, because I'm not a tech person, but I thought her cell phone had blown up. We heard this pop, and she had the cell phone in her hand, and and down she went.
Francisco Sanchez, an illegal immigrant who'd been deported numerous times, confessing to the crime, insisting the shooting was an accident, and a gun he found wrapped in a T-shirt went off when he picked it up. Firefighters working around the clock over the weekend, battling dozens of fires around the state in conditions that make fire activity worse than usual.
We are in an extreme drought. The vegetation is even drier than it has been in past years because you can't water as much as you have in the past.
Lisa Darian with CAL FIRE. Fireworks apparently causing several of the fires around the state. One near Sacramento threatened hundreds of homes. Geico weather, cooler temperatures around the state today. Chance of moisture in the northern region tomorrow. Jeff Scott, California News.
I'm Jay Farner with some great news on how you could save an average of $3,000 per year on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. The HARP guidelines have changed. There's less paperwork and often no appraisal required. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactive. Their faces are their money. And it's time for you to get it because Proactive has set up a special 800 number. For just $19.95, you'll get Proactive and a rotating deep cleansing brush. A $45 value, yours free. For only $19.95, you're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear or your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call now for a lifetime of beautiful skin. 1-800-644-5944.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies, gradually becoming sunny with a high near 87. Tonight, patchy fog, increasing clouds, a low near 60. Tuesday, patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies, becoming sunny with a high near 86. Tuesday night, increasing clouds, a low near 60. Wednesday, chance of showers, cloudy skies, high near 83. Wednesday night, increasing clouds, a low near 62. Thursday, cloudy in the morning, gradual clearing, a high near 79. Thursday night, patchy fog, increasing clouds, a low near 58. Friday, patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies, becoming sunny with a high near 84. Friday night, patchy fog, mostly clear with a low near 60. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
Are you thirsty for books that will fill your soul with wisdom, joy, and inspiration? Then take a refreshing and nourishing drink at Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore, located in the heart of the Agape International Spiritual Center in Culver City, which incidentally was recently featured on The Today Show. From aromatic soy candles to best-selling authors like Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and a whole host of other visionaries, Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore has everything to soothe your body, spirit, and soul. For more info and directions, visit agapelive.com today. Art Bell is back, and he's coming to KCAA.
There are a lot of people who think that we are Martians, that there's a strong possibility that we are Martians. That's why I said us. No, I'm serious. There was a civilization on Mars. That life had been us or our ancestors.
Nobody is more captivating than Art Bell.
Now, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there is something here that defies logical explanation.
Tune into the best, Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell.
The only way you're going to get the American people to pony up the billions of dollars, however many hundreds of billions it would be to go to Mars, the only way you're going to get them to do that is to convince them that we have a real reason to go.
Want to take a ride? Coming July 20th. Weeknights at midnight on KCAA, 1050 AM.
Check us out on Instagram where you can watch videos, see pictures, and listen to audio of all your favorite KCAA shows. That's right, KCAA 1050 AM is now on Instagram. Go get your account.
Consider this your invitation.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. So we had two versions of this song we just played.
Is this the Weird Al one now?
Yes, going out of the break, we played the Nirvana version, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now we're playing the Weird Al version, Smells Like Nirvana. Thanks, Phil.
I love Weird Al.
Absolutely love it.
So, Aaron, before we left on the previous segment, we were talking about China. And
Yes.
there's kind of a related story I wanted to transition to if we could.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
So, LA Times has a headline that really grabbed my attention. It says, Teens Attack on Chinese Girl Draws Comparisons to Lord of the Flies from the Judge. And for those of you who haven't read Lord of the Flies, it's a book about a group of young boys that are shipwrecked on an island. And when they're left to themselves with no adults around, these kids turn into savages.
Required reading in high school.
Exactly right.
Well, I don't know if it's on everybody's reading list, but yeah, I think it should be.
It was when we were in high school.
Yeah,
I don't
it was
know if
when I
still
was in
is.
high school.
But it's an amazing novel, and these kids devolve and just become these horrible little savages and kill somebody, right? I mean, it's really violent. Anyway, so let me give you the story in the LA Times because this really is quite shocking. It started as an ordinary spat among high school girls sparked by an unpaid restaurant bill. At an ice cream parlor in Rowland Heights, the dispute took a dark turn. 3 girls ganged up on Yurin Camilla Liu, forcing her to kneel and use her hands to wipe cigarette butts and ice cream smears off the floor, according to Liu's court testimony. More teenagers joined the fray. Liu testified that they took her to a nearby park where they stripped her naked, kicked her with high-heel shoes, slapped her hundreds of times, and burned her nipples with cigarettes.
Oh, my gosh.
They then cut off her hair and made her eat it, she testified. Someone snapped cell phone photos of her. A girl named Helen said to the others, "Just slow it down and don't hit her so hard, and we can do it for a longer stretch of time," Liu testified at a preliminary hearing. The March 30th attack has prompted some soul-searching, not just in Rowland Heights, but also in China. The victim and her alleged attackers were parachute kids, part of a new wave of Chinese youngsters who live in Southern California and attend local schools while their parents remain back home. So this is the Lord of the Flies connection, right? No parents around. Parachute kids typically stay in private homes in the San Gabriel Valley, paying for room, board, and transportation, and substitute parenting from their hosts. Most are in high school, though some are even younger, studying here to get a jump start on admissions to an American college. In the attack on Liu, who is 18, 3 teenagers have been charged as adults and pleaded not guilty to torture, kidnapping, and assault. Attorneys for Yunyao Helen Zhe, 19, and Yuan Coco Yang, 18, acknowledged their clients participated in the attack and said they hope to reach plea agreements that dismiss the most serious charges. Torture carries a life prison sentence with the possibility of parole. A lawyer for the third defendant, Xin Li, John Zhang, 18, argued in court that his client was only a bystander. I had never heard of parachute kids before. I'd never heard that phrase before.
I haven't either, and actually it's horrifying.
Yeah. Now, you and I have hosted exchange students over the years through a reputable organization, American Field Service, and they're high school kids, and AFS does a lot of background checks, and they have a program where these kids get to go to AFS events, and there's all kinds of counseling.
And there's monthly contact, and there's support, and there's connection with the other AFS kids, and all this other stuff.
And we've hosted kids, one from mainland China, one from Hong Kong, and had wonderful experiences.
We did.
But this environment here seems so much different. This is really about just paying money to someone to let your kid live in their house so that they can then go to an American school. This is a very different kind of thing.
This is warehousing kids.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, they've created a dormitory.
Yeah. And these kids, of course, have a natural affinity for other kids like themselves, and they've created these sort of wild packs of kids that are out there with no real supervision.
Here's the thing, too. One of the things that happens to these kids when they come over, these AFS students that we've hosted, and we've hosted a lot of kids. So we've hosted 6 for periods of 3 months to a year. Most of them get up to a year. And then we've hosted, for short periods of time, lots of kids from South America, Europe, and Asia.
Yeah.
And invariably, when they first get there, there's some loneliness, some isolation. Everything's different. They don't speak the language. They don't have any friends. They're not connected. And, that it takes some connection with the family and with AFS and some working through to get beyond that. I mean, it's not when anybody goes into a new culture, whether you're from here and you're moving to, I don't know, Mississippi, you're going to have some sort of culture shock.
Yep.
And the fact that these kids are kind of dropped by themselves is really sad.
And even with all the stuff that AFS does with background checks and things like that, we've watched kids sort of fall apart once they get here.
Some do really well, but some don't. I mean, they're young people, they're teenagers, and have all of the angst and all of the emotions and all of the everything that comes along with being teenagers.
Yeah.
And they may be very focused, academic, mature teenagers, but they're still teenagers.
Yeah. So these 3 kids who are being charged with this attack, and there are a couple others that already have pled out, their lives are really at risk here, that they could end up in prison for a long period of time. Their families who spent all their life savings to get their kids over here, to give them this opportunity, their families are in China, are in distress now as well. And I mean, this really got out of hand. I mean, this is like the worst kind of bullying. It's very much like the Lord of the Flies.
Well, I'm wondering if Lord of the Flies or even the Hunger Games which
Wow.
borrowed a lot from Lord of the Flies,
Yeah.
as far as I could make out. But in one, it's got the adults doing it to the kids. In Lord of the Flies, it's more like the kids doing it to the kids. So I don't know where to draw the line there. It's cruelty at any rate.
Well, and they're here on F1 visas, and I know with AFS there are requirements with contact with the kids, background checks, yada yada yada, and I guess they're just not in compliance, or they just don't really care.
So most of these kids ended up going to a little private school in Oxnard, I think, and they paid $13,000 a year to take classes with 140 other international students, mostly from China. And the school's principal was the contact for the homestays and helped to arrange a lot of the homestays. And so this is a system that's been set up, like you said, primarily to get these kids into the school and get them that American education.
Yeah, I wonder how good the Oxford School is.
Yeah.
I wonder how good the Oxford School is. Well, that's just sad. We'll have to keep watching that story. I'm sure there's a lot. It's probably more common than we can even imagine.
Yeah, well, and it's got people calling for some major changes into the way they do those visas and the way those programs are allowed to get more oversight. And I know that they've already strengthened a lot of those laws. I know that from our work with AFS that they've, tightened up a lot of the legal requirements. But I think this particular specific situation in the San Gabriel Valley. We've got our guest. Oh, awesome. Okay, so let's...
Well, wonderful. So we are so excited that Pamela Little is calling in. Pamela Little's writing career, she's an author, of course, began in the 5th grade when she won the Evans Award for Drama for a play she wrote overnight titled The Case of the Missing Watch. She went on to win 2 American Pen Women Prizes for creative writing in high school. While a college student, Pamela earned recognition from the William Randolph Hearst Foundation and the annual Hemingway Days Festival for her newspaper, Journalism. She's written a new book that we are very excited called The Resting Place, Graveside Diary. Pamela Little, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Erin. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us about how you came to write this book.
Well, the interesting thing is, after I wrote the book, I realized what the purpose of the book was. Journal writing has always been so transformative for me. I realized that anyone who would read this book, the whole point is to make them want to keep diaries, if they've always wanted to, make them want to journal keep for the reasons that this book, what it did for me. It's journal writing is extremely powerful, and because of the book, I started a group that's Tuesdays at 8 a.m. for free at the Corner Cafe, the Fox Theater building downtown.
Is that in Redlands?
Yeah, that's the Bricks and Birch new cafe downtown, but we meet Tuesdays at 8. And we call ourselves the Write Group, W-R-I-T-E. Anyone who wants to write anything. But the interesting thing about the group is we don't socialize. We check in briefly and we sit down and we write quietly together. But it keeps everybody on their commitment of writing. What I discovered is that Redlands is full of writers, and a lot of them are in the woodwork, and I want to draw them out because, I first came to Redlands in 1993 to give a journal writing workshop at a bookstore that's no longer on State Street, and then came here in 2003 to live. But I feel like one of these woodwork writers that has tried all these years and is now a published author, and so I want to help other people. Because people say there's a book in all of us, but really behind every book is like 5 diaries. So I want to get at people's diaries. This is why I started this, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. So tell us about this particular book. A resting place.
Well, it's a diary that I wrote by my own cemetery plot over the period of about 4 years. I did it just to go there to be quiet and reflect, and it turned out to be a perspective on my life from the perspective of my grave. And I never knew what I was going to write, but when it came out, I started to see this thing had a life of its own, and I kind of felt like a ghostwriter of my own life, and it was an amazing healing process. It has a beginning, middle, and an end, and it has a happy ending even. I tried to write a book for so many years, and then sitting down, one day just to keep a journal, this ended up being my first book. I was pretty excited about it. So yeah, it's a pretty dark story. I call it the Bermuda Triangle of Dark Mental States, bipolar disorder, food addiction, and something a term I made up. You know how they say PTSD? Well, I invented this phrase out of my own experience called PBDD, which is post-divorce destruction disorder. So I go there and address these dark topics in the spirit of the cemetery, and then just end up with a very light experience, like sort of heavenly. It's kind of interesting how the book is a dark to light. If you can handle the darkness in the beginning, it's worth waiting for the light at the end.
Well, we have to take a quick break. Will you stay with us while we're on a break?
Sure thing.
Wonderful. We're talking to author Pamela Little. She's a local author from Redlands, and excited to continue this conversation. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Bill Schwartz in the booth. We are KCAA AM 1050. We'll be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station for the Inland Empire.
We are farmers. We are all day long doers. Agriculture isn't just our industry, it's our way of life. We invest in equipment that's long-lasting, economical, and environmentally conscious because that's what it takes to do the job right. We're all about greater horsepower and cleaner emissions, new implements, more attachments, better technology and dependable engineering. For all your ag equipment needs, we are Kubota.
It's time for some delicious food at Pizza Dilly. Pizza Dilly Pizza in Colton, home of the famous 2-foot pizza with 32 slices of simply the best delicious Pizza Dilly mouth-watering pizza. Pizza Dilly has all kinds of lunch specials Monday through Friday, starting at $3.99, all delicious. Stop by, refresh, refuel, have a cold drink, enjoy a tasty salad or a great specialty Dillylicious sub sandwich, or simply Dilly-lightful Pizza Dilly wings. Pizza Dilly is also People Dilly because your friends are all already there enjoying one of Pizza Dilly's giant screens, watching one of their favorite teams, and if you love the Dodgers, you'll love Pizza Dilly, your hometown Dodger station, all year round. Come on in, enjoy a great pizza, enjoy Pizza Dilly, the real Dilly deal at 194 East Valley Boulevard in Colton, or call 909-370-0242. Once again, that's 909-370-0242.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. Got Bill Schwartz in the booth, and we continue our conversation with author Pamela Little. Pamela, so tell us about. Are you continuing to write? What is your next book?
Oh, this book is called The Resting Place, but the sequel is called The Rest. So I'm going to tell the rest of the story because the first book ends with basically just coming alive. Okay, so now the rest is about being alive and being fully alive, and so it's far more entertaining and positive, and I'm having way more fun writing this book because it's about taking the resting place within out into your waking life, not just we're at rest when we're dead. It's about being at rest everywhere, every moment when we're alive. And so the whole world is opened up. And so the sequel, which I intend to have out next year, who knows, will be, that's what it's about. So yes, every day I am writing on that one. So it's very exciting. And I keep a lot of journals going. I work as a journal writing coach. In fact, at the Redlands, the Associates of the Redlands Bowl, the gala, this Saturday, July 11th,
yes,
they have the Bowl Benefit Gala, and I threw in a few journal writing coaching sessions along with the book as part of the live auction, so I want to see who are the writers in the room.
Ah, awesome. So what have you learned about yourself?
Oh, gosh, I think, here's where I want to encourage everybody to keep a journal. I think, we all talk about honesty and lying to ourselves. I think the number one lie we live is that we're not true to ourselves and we don't know the truth about ourselves. And so we live our lives like there's all these, that we live ways that are not truly who we are. When you journal keep, you can really discover who you are, and then you can live from who you are. So you really live honestly. You live who you really are, and a life you really are meant to live.
Was that process scary for you?
Not writing is what's scary for me. Writing has always been just my lifeline, like someone's paintbrush might be to the canvas. It's not about writing being the thing that does it. It's whatever does it for you, and writing does it for me. It's like ink is like in my blood, and so when I'm not writing, using words, then I don't feel like I'm living. So yeah, I need to write like I need to breathe. So if I don't write, that's what's very scary.
So
yeah.
Pamela, in a traditional sense, when people are journal writing or writing a diary, it's usually something that's very private and personal, but you've taken yours and put it out there. Was that scary?
My gosh,
was that scary for you?
Well, here's the thing. I wrote in this diary stuff that even I would want to keep from myself.
Wow.
So what happened was I just blew open the cover of the book. I mean, this diary is more personal than any diary I have ever written that I don't even want people to see. So, what's interesting, though, is I thought it would be very scary, and I had to spend quite a lot of time contemplating. I have children. I have their father, who I'm no longer married to. I have family members. And this is all true. Everything in my book is true. And I needed to very carefully think about the impact on them. It's fine for me to spill my guts, but I needed to be very careful about what I was exposing as far as that goes. So it ended up to be some incredibly healing family relationships.
Wow.
In the process. So yes, it was very calculated what I would, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah.
So
it was a big risk on my part, and I'm glad I did, because I think I say a lot of things people wish they could say, and they don't have to because I said it. And they may go on to say things they need to say, and even if they don't get to that deep level that I jumped out on a cliff on, they get permission to say what they need to say to who they need to say it. They may not publish a book, but they could go tell a therapist that they feel like killing themselves.
Sure.
Now,
what would you tell? I see that I'm looking on your website. It appears that you have 2 daughters. Is that correct?
3.
3 daughters. So what would you tell them as they're growing up and dealing with all of the emotions that first come in, at puberty, but that, how to be their authentic selves? Because our culture seems to be that they put out an archetype of who a woman should be, and that conformity is the norm. So how do you teach your children to be true to themselves?
Okay, it's not so much teaching. The more I can be true to myself and demonstrate that in my life, that's all I need to do. That's all the teaching I need to do, is be myself. If I can be myself, and that's going to be a lifelong challenge. I don't know that I can be myself enough before they leave the house to help them be themselves, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But I really believe that that's all it is that when I'm true to me and I'm myself, and it shows that way in my life, they are automatically like that for themselves. It's truly about modeling, not teaching. It's nothing I can tell them. It's what I show them. So publishing a book, they're like, yay, Mommy. hopefully they won't read it till they're in their 30s, but
well, actually, it might bring them comfort, because if they deal with some of the same issues that you deal with, hopefully they won't have a divorce, but you never know. Things happen.
We've had amazing conversations. This book has been the best conversation piece for me with family and friends. It has opened up wonders, especially between me and my mother. I was more afraid of what my mother would think reading this book than anyone, and she's my biggest fan, and it transformed our relationship, just me writing this book and her reading it.
Wow. So how do people get your book? Where is it on sale?
Oh, Amazon. You go on Amazon, and it's under Pamela Little, as in small, Little, and it's called The Resting Place, A Graveside Diary. Yeah.
And how do they find you? Are you going to be doing any book signing, or do you have any events? And what if they want to be coached?
AuthorPamelaLittle.com. So on the website, AuthorPamelaLittle.com. And so I will list things there. And then my only event right now is the Tuesday, 8 a.m. free write group at the new Bricks and Birch Cafe, which is the Fox Theater Corner Cafe downtown Redlands. Tuesdays at 8 a.m. for an hour. But we only write for half an hour. No talking allowed.
Oh, wow.
You can sip your coffee, though.
There you go. Well, it has been a delight, a treat having you on today. I'm so excited that you joined us. And please come back and let us know, other things that you are doing and how your journey is going.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you so much. We've been talking with Pamela Little, local author, and she does coaching too. So journal coaching and offers retreats. Go to her website, authorpamelalittle.com, if you are something that you want to learn how to do.
Yeah, and Aaron, I know you've been doing journaling for years, and the fact that she took this, this very private thing and put it out there in this form of a book, that blows my mind, because I know how intense and how personal that can be.
Yes.
And I'm glad that she was able to have these great conversations with her family. And
sounds like she has a supportive family.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would go over in everyone's family.
Yeah. Exactly right. And having an ex, we didn't talk about his reaction, but I'm wondering, that's got to be tough. Tough conversations.
Yeah, it does have to be tough.
But powerful, very powerful.
So we only have a couple of minutes left, and there's one story that I want to cover, and this is it's on CNBC.com, but it's written by Robert Pear of the New York Times. Health insurance companies around the country are seeking rate increases of 20 to 40% or more, saying their customers under the new ACA, Affordable Care Act, turned out to be sicker than expected. Federal officials say they are determined to see that the requests are scaled back. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans, market leaders in many states, are seeking rate increases that average 23% in Illinois, 25% in North Carolina, 31% in Oklahoma, 36% in Tennessee, and 54% in Minnesota, according to documents posted online by the federal government and state insurance commissioners and interviews with insurance executives. The Oregon Insurance Commissioner Laura Ann Cowley just approved 2016 rate increases for companies that cover more than 220,000 people. So
wasn't this happening before Affordable Care?
Affordable Care is not the right name for it. Let's be honest. This is the exact same thing that was predicted when this whole thing started. Was that there wasn't going to be enough healthy people to offset the ones who are going to rush to this
are the sick ones.
And they're more costly. And that prices would go up, and they've taken out sort of the market mechanisms for how you deal with some of these issues, and so guess who gets to cover it at the end of the day?
Taxpayer.
That's right.
And the ratepayer. For here, it's the ratepayer. So we'll see. It's been a great Monday, July 6th, right? July 6th. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We have Bill Schwartz in the booth. We are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. Have a productive day, everybody.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Radio. Stocks are set to plunge when the markets open. Over the weekend, Greece voted no to terms of a bailout package. This is raising concerns over its future in the 19-nation Eurozone. A huge merger in the insurance business. Humana agrees to be bought by rival Aetna in a cash and stock deal worth $37 billion. The proposed tie-up still has to receive approval from regulators. In just about a half hour from now, the Institute for Supply Management will release its June service sector index. The index has shown solid growth in the past few months, and analysts expect this to continue in June. It's the end of an era. The CME Group says this will be the last day for open outcry future pits in Chicago and New York. The traders in colorful jackets are being replaced by technology. And the Grateful Dead setting attendance records at Soldier Field in the Windy City, topping previous bestseller U2. Chris Maurer, CNBC.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH+. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
Prepare yourself. The breakfast blahs are everywhere. Boring, bland, and routine breakfasts that make people feel like zombies. But there's a cure. Hostess breakfast. Scrumptious chocolate donuts. Sweet-filled danishes. Iced and glazed honey buns. Get them at a nearby store to stop the blahs and start your day with a dose of sweet. The sweetest cure for the breakfast blahs. Hostess breakfast. Up and eat 'em.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Good morning, it's 7:02. Checking out traffic and weather. It's going to be warm and sunny today. Highs in the 70s and 80s across the Southland. LA and Orange County, they're going to see morning clouds and clear to sunny skies. They'll be in the upper 70s. Beaches are going to be in the low 70s. The mountains with a 20% chance of thunderstorms and temps in the upper 70s. Currently, it's 68 degrees. It's actually dropped a degree. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'll take it. Checking out traffic. It looks like Chino has stop-and-go traffic on the 60. That's westbound between Ramona Avenue and the 57 Orange Freeway. In Corona, also stop-and-go traffic on the 91 westbound between McKinley and Green River Road. And in Corona, the carpool lane is blocked. That's on the 91 westbound at Green River Road. This traffic and weather report has been brought to you by Pala Casino Spa and Resort. From a selection of over 480 wine labels to handcrafted drinks and cocktails, Cave has it all. Now open at Pala Casino Spa and Resort, it's a one-of-a-kind wine cave, lounge, and dining experience you gotta see to believe. Visit palacasino.com to learn more.
Slam the door on FeePay. Forget everything you know about selling online because I'm here to tell you about a new and revolutionary way to buy and sell on the internet. BuySellMakeOffer.com is here to shake up the web. Tired of paying those outrageous fees? You'll never pay a fee with BuySellMakeOffer.com. For a monthly membership package starting at only $7.95, you can list and sell up to 50 items. That would cost you nearly $100 with the other guys. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up today.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here. You know, we just saw the biggest jump in mortgage rates in more than 25 years. So now it's more important than ever to lock in your loan with a professional who has a thorough understanding of this wild mortgage market. That pro, Steve Alidor, the loan financial planner from Rancho Financial. Steve is one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the entire country. And for years, Steve has worked with me, my family members and friends, and in most cases will close your loan in 30 days or less. Time is critical if you're ready to buy or refi. No one knows where rates will go next. Learn the advantages of working with a direct lender who can fast-track your loan. Steve Alidor can calculate which program is best for you and educate you about all of your options. Call the loan financial planner, Steve Alidor, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070. Or watch Steve's free home loan webinar at loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. 1050 AM. Don't forget that number. And for you young people who got here by accidentally fat-fingering your FM band selector, we're an AM radio station. And AM refers to more than just the time of day.
He has been a professional money manager for the last 18 years. He is a regular contributor to the Fox Business Channel and Bloomberg Radio. In addition to this, he is a regular contributor to TheStreet.com and MarketWatch.com. Now he's live here on the Wall Street Business Network. Here is Bill Gunderson.
And welcome to the Monday morning, July the 6th, live edition of the Best Stocks Now Radio Hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson, president of Gunderson Capital Management in San Diego, California. Well, let's see what's happening here. We get a long weekend. We get a vote by the Greek people on Sunday, and the Dow is down 96 points right now. Hey, it could be a lot worse. The futures were down 200 last night. Right now we're down 96 points. We're at 17,633. We continue to drift lower and lower. However, until this doggone Greek situation gets resolved. The S&P 500, meanwhile, is down about 11 points right now. That puts the S&P 500 at 2,066. Hey, it's becoming undervalued once again here, almost, at least when you look ahead to next year. The NASDAQ is down 25 points right now. It was down about 50 in the futures this morning, so being down just 23 now. 4,985 is where the NASDAQ is at, waiting for some kind of final resolution to this Greek issue, this Greek saga, which is in Act 3 now. We're hoping for the final act here at some point in time this week. Crude oil has really taken it on the chin. I have no exposure to crude oil. I had a couple of toes dipped in the water. I pulled them back out. Didn't want to get them bit off. Crude oil is clear down to $54.65 right now. Gold is at $1,165 per ounce. Hey, you'd think with this world turmoil, turmoil, it is pretty central, located in a small area of the world, but gold is at $1,165, not reacting. 10-year yield 2.31. So welcome to the Best Stocks Now Radio Hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson. Hey, I had a lot of good comments coming in, a lot of good comments about my son Stephen and Rob Sanford, who works here at Gunderson Capital Management, one of my associates, doing the show last Thursday. Trudy in Bradenton says, Bill, where does Stephen get his good looks from? Well, I guess his mother. Bill, Stephen looks more like Rob than you.